who served 35 years in the U.S. Army and retired as a four-star general. Secretary Powell, and never knows whether to say General Powell, Secretary Powell, Your Excellency. Let me ask you, is this a moment for accountability, or is this a moment for healing? Because the two can't really happen simultaneously.
This is a moment for accountability, to place blame on people who have done things that are wrong. And at the same time, I think it is something for accountability, because there are a lot of people who did not demonstrate that they were using the accountability they had. But I have no fear for our country. We'll come out of this. We now have three bodies that are all in the same party. We have a guy who's going to be the President of the United States, who I've known for many, many years, and will give a completely different rationale to what a president does. And so we'll come out of this okay. But we've got to get Mr. Trump clearly out of this entirely. He's going to be gone, one way or the other, by next week. And the sooner the better, whether it is just a relief he takes for himself, or it's an impeachment, or just leave, resign, retire. And so he's going to be gone. And then we will start again. The big challenge we're going to have is, how do we convince all of our citizens, and not just those of us who might be called progressive, how do we convince all of our citizens that we have to start changing our society again? We cannot have people that are running around with guns the way they run around now. I saw in one of the state houses a whole line of guys with machine guns. Why are they allowed to do that? Why is that acceptable? I've also seen some things from the very beginning of the Trump administration that convinced me that this is not the kind of guy for me. And that was when he launched his tirade against Mr. Obama, who he said was born in another country. We knew he wasn't born in another country. It was obvious. It was provable. But it took us, I think it was a year and a half or 2 years before Trump finally agreed to it. Why? Because he was using it. He was using it as a way of saying, this guy's a black guy, so let's keep talking against him. And we've got to change all of that. We've got to get back on a track where Americans feel strongly about our society. We are all democracies, small d people, Democrats, and we'll get back. I have such confidence in our country, so confidence in our ability to come through this crisis as we have come through many other crises in the past. But I'm concerned that we make sure we bring along all of our citizens. So this gives us a challenge. How do we talk to that portion of our society that voted, a huge percentage went for Mr. Trump? Well, Mr. Trump isn't there anymore, and so we've got to help them to come back and join the rest of us. Let's argue with each other. Let's debate each other. But let's remember we have to love each other. That's who we are. We're Americans, and we have something to be proud of. We've got to make the rest of the world proud of us as well, as they have been for so many years before.
Let me ask you to just pick up on what you said at the start, Colin, which is, Donald Trump is not going to resign. So would you support impeachment? And if there were an impeachment, the House is likely to do it. If you were a senator, would you vote to convict?
Of course I would. I would vote to convict. I would have done it, last time if I had the opportunity. But I'd be surprised if we can get an impeachment through or press a relief on his part, or anything else. 25th Amendment. It's only about a little over a week left, and so all I know is that toward the middle of next week, he's going to be gone.
Let me ask you about something. You've been critical of Trump from the start, from the campaign, and for all, in my view, the right reasons. You watched your fellow Republicans, people you knew, people you'd worked with, cozy up to him, refuse to condemn him, thinking, they'd get away with it, they'd get his support. Do you feel like that dynamic has broken? Do they realize that, in a sense, they encouraged, at least, this wildness to grow and grow?
They did, and that's why I can no longer call myself a fellow Republican. I'm not a fellow of anything right now. I'm just a citizen who has voted Republican, voted Democrat throughout my entire career. And right now, I'm just watching my country and not concerned with parties. And so I do not know how he was able to attract all these people. They should have known better, but they were so taken by their political standing and how none of them wanted to put themselves at political risk. They would not stand up and tell the truth or stand up and criticize him or criticize others. And that's what we need. We need people who will speak the truth, who remember that they are here for our fellow citizens. They are here for our country. They are not here simply to be reelected again. Come on, guys, you can make it in private life if you don't get reelected. But right now, we need you to be real Americans who we can trust, who will tell the truth, who will argue on the basis of facts and not just argue on the basis of what their primary looks like.